listening to Fresh Take.
You are listening to the Fresh Take Network.
You're listening to the Fresh Take Network.
What it is, what I do. Welcome to the Fresh Take Network. This is The Rundown. I'm Joshua Adam William Arthot with the spectacular, the sensational, the one, the only, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Devaneer. It's Devon Seal.
Extra, extra. Read all about it. Guys talk on computer to each other for an hour.
Wait a minute. This didn't happen.
So, it came out. It was everything we ever wanted.
Man, I'm really my only thing is, and I think they'd probably answer it in Spider-Verse, he says he's Peter Parker, not Ben Riley. So my understanding from the people is that he may be Peter Parker, but named himself Ben Riley.
Oh.
So just you've only seen 4 and I've only seen 4, correct?
I saw 5 yesterday,
5, okay.
but
Okay, so I've only seen 4.
it doesn't matter.
The only question I have before we go forward is that I'm racking my brain on it. I'm like, so how is he animated in Spider-Verse, but then Donald Glover is the Prowler in live action?
What do you mean?
So in Spider-Verse,
Yes.
Spider-Noir is animated,
Yeah.
but when they go to like where Miguel is, you see Donald Glover as the Prowler and he's live action.
Yeah, it's just a different. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's all universes.
I'm
like,
just
they all look
curious,
different,
like,
right?
So that's why I'm just like bending the like.
Because he starts the show off by saying that he's learned that there are different universes out there.
Yes.
So this show confirms that it's after him getting pulled in to Spider-Verse.
And Lord and Miller said it's canon.
Yeah.
But like I'm just like, so like when certain people go through, like, do they become animation? Like,
I think it's just a way of like, I think every universe, it's the same thing as Multiverse of Madness. Like when you go to a different universe, like it looks different, and then sometimes you get turned like, and then you get turned into kind of looking like
so
to fit in.
Maybe the reason that he's Prowler there is because that's like Grand Station there, and that's why he's the Prowler there. I don't know.
You know what? It's not that kind of show. It's not that kind of show.
It is bugging me. It's just a small thing that's like I need to know why he's animated, but Prowler isn't.
You mean the Donald Glover version?
Yes,
Because it's a different universe.
I guess.
Like the Donald Glover version is in the live action MCU, right? Or the Spider-Verse,
Yes.
right? Spider-Noir in this TV show is the same
Sony.
Spider-Noir. Yeah, well, I know the business side, but I meant just like I think you represent wherever you come from or your original universe is how you're determined to look. And then when you go through a different universe or a portal or whatever, then you sometimes get a makeover into fitting into that universe.
Right. Anyways, I'm not going to think about it too hard. It did bug me a little bit, but overall for this, just a lot of fun. So far. Right casting with Nick Cage. They really hit the tone right for 1930s, more or less. Only thing I would change a little bit is I would have not made it as pretty in some ways as far as the audio goes. I would have distorted audio a little bit to kind of
have like the scratches of
have the
like,
scratches and stuff. Yeah. And like maybe
Sure.
a few more people use that kind of transatlantic dialect that we saw from those films that we saw in Casablanca and others. But again, these are all just small things that I'm, picking apart for the most part. I think and the other thing is I think this was a terrible idea to have this as a binge because it does seem in the culture stream of everything, it came, it binged, it left.
Oh, you think there's no staying power?
No, like I think a lot of people have moved on. Like I haven't seen as many people are like, yeah, it's great. I'm moving on. Like, which Again, I think, Amazon's kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't, because they did it with Fallout the first time, and it was pretty good. And there was some decent buzz after that for Fallout, but then they had separate episodes for this past season of Fallout, and it's like, it probably should have been binged. So again, I don't think they can really win.
Well, it kind of goes to show like how confident they were of the product, which is really interesting because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe there was more to play than like in terms of there was competition or there was box office. I mean, maybe they didn't want to go up against kind of Mandalorian
Who
for
knows?
for attention. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. I have no friggin' idea.
Yeah, I would have liked to maybe, one episode at a time. I don't think it needs a binge. But having said that, like, I am happy that I get to watch an episode a day. I think everything about it is like really well done. It continues to show that Lord and Miller don't touch anything without a fine-tuned comb and making it good and pristine.
Right.
I mean, they've had three things that come out this year, and they've all been widely positive reviews. Project Hail Mary, Spider-Noir, and Sheep Detective.
They were
All
Sheep
were
Detective?
They did Sheep Detective, which obviously isn't
Wow.
blowing up at the box office right now. We'll talk about some box office stuff in a bit, but when that comes to VOD, that is going to blow up.
It's like the patenting effect
Yeah.
where the right kids are the right age at the right time of like so school's coming out and it just does numbers that way.
It
Hmm.
Sheep Detective, and again, I'll talk about it a little bit more, but Sheep Detective fell into the problem of it came out in between Michael and Devil Wears Prada, and then the week of Mortal
Right.
Kombat, which it wasn't going to win, and then the week after Obsession blew up, and then Backdoors came out, and then Mando came out, and it kind of got lost in that whole tidal wave of things. That's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to VOD, it's I think it's going to have a nice little run.
Well, okay, so we're not going to talk about Sheep Detective. We're going to move
No,
on
no, no.
into we're going to
Let's
we're going to we're
talk about
going to
Noir.
we're going to trudge forward
Yeah.
into Spider-Verse. No, not Spider-Verse, but
Yeah,
Spider-Noir.
it is the Spider-Verse.
What I really appreciate about the show is that it's not the Disney version of the 1930s. Like people smoke, they drink at weird times, they show nightclubs, they show gang activity. Like it's not as clean as I think the Disney version would have been.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And even like there was a scene in one of the episodes in one of the climax scenes where Ben shoots one of the guys with a Tommy gun with the webbing and he pulls it as he's pulling the trigger and like did
Yeah.
he just kill a guy? Because he like the gangster shot his colleague because of the web slinging on the gun. And I'm like, dang, like I don't think I would have seen this if we were watching it through Disney.
No, he doesn't really have the code. He has a code more or less of why he didn't want to be the spider anymore. But he obviously just went away because of Ruby passing, right?
Well,
But
it's
for
not
the
even
most
a
part,
code in term. It's not even a code. It's just more of like what does Disney care about showing its heroes doing, right?
yeah,
And Disney has a code. I don't think Ben Riley has much of one,
that's what I'm
especially
saying.
kind of so especially as like kind of like a veteran of the war and the different like you can tell like the kind of like hurt behind the eyes that him and all of the guys from that unit really have and not shying away from the horrors of war if you will, kind of fun that way. So
Yeah,
um so it seems like we're doing Sinister Six, right?
I don't know if Tombstone's
Or
ever
if
been in the
that,
Sinister Six.
sorry,
I don't know if Tombstone's been in the Sinister Six, but yeah, more or less.
because I always thought that was supposed to be Rhino.
No, it's Lonnie Lincoln's. It's Tombstone.
Yeah. I wasn't sure because like some of them were so apparent, right? Like they had Pyro, so we
Well,
have Pyro, we have Shark.
Pyro's an X-Men character,
Or is it okay, well is there
and
not a
then
Fire Spider-Man character?
no, not
Oh,
really.
okay.
I and then
I'm
even
messing things up
Megawatt,
then.
I'm not 100% sure if he's supposed to be Electro. I'm assuming he is. It would make the most sense.
That's what I was kind of getting at. Like that's what I was thinking about. Like I was like, oh, like is this season going to kind of go through the building of the Sinister Six or maybe their version of the Sinister
And I
Six?
like how
I
they
don't.
explain it too, of just like, hey, like whatever happened when they were away, like gave them in their POW camps, like gave them powers.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. No issues with that. Like
So simple to figure it out. Like I,
especially for the time frame, right? Like
yeah,
it's too early to have DNA experiments. It's too early to have radiation. So they need to do something a little bit more pulpy, more fictitious, which is, testing with animals. And then
yeah.
here we are. So like I really like the steps that they took for this show.
It took me a second too to be like when I heard Robbie Robertson, I was like, wait a minute, that's like Jameson's right hand man. So it took me a second for to know that he was playing him. I love the callback in four, the Mary Jane Gwen Stacy spot that we see once in a while. It's been done, but it's always a fantastical piece done in Spider-Man or the comics or games or whatever of the jump out the window. I know who you are type of thing. I mean, Margot
Mm.
Kidder, I think was like the first that we ever saw it with a hero doing it in the original Superman, but it's always a scene that I'm just kind of a sucker for.
Yeah, like this I think one of the biggest parts of this show is the to is so it's obviously the tone and the adherence to the idea of like being very true to the portrayal of superheroes, both good and bad. Like everything's very hammed up.
Yeah,
And think my biggest compliment to this show would be that you can tell that they really wanted to make a really good kind of graphic novel or one-shot version of Spider-Noir. Like if this story was printed in like a 7 issue, big hardcover, it'd be the kind of thing that I would want to buy.
yeah.
And I'm really happy with that so far. So, yeah.
It's kind of funny too. Like some of the names are kind of on the nose. Like for example, Kat Hardy. They didn't call her Felicia
Yeah.
Hardy, so they just kind of put the two together more or less
Yeah, well,
between.
so Felicia Hardy, so it's Felicia Hardy, then it's what, Black Cat, right?
Yeah. So I'm assuming maybe by the end of this, we'll have some teases of her being Black Cat.
I'm assuming so, right? So take me through it. Like what else? So what we have Tombstone, we have Electro, or so you call the
So
Megawatt.
it's what I've seen so far is we have Tombstone, Sandman,
Hmm.
Silvermane. I think the biggest mainstream side of Silvermane we had was in the 94 Spider-Man. Silvermane was kind of even Kingpin's boss in
I'm gonna
that.
look it up really
Yeah.
quickly.
Um, so he was like the biggest one in that, but like and then we had Megawatt that just happened now. And then I don't know anyone else that's coming right now, if or we have a tease of anybody else coming here. But those are the big ones right now.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, Megawatts, Lonnie Lincoln as Tombstone, and then Flint Marko.
And everyone kind of, does their job in your opinion. You're not like kind of
No, I
disappointed by
think
anything?
I think they did great. Like I mean, I think it deserves a second season.
Oh,
Um,
easily.
like I think by all means, like they did everything great. Like I mean, and it's so nice too. I mean, I'm sure this has already been said to death. This will be the first time I've said it. It's cool to see Cage does it because he's a fan, right? Like he
Right.
loves comics, and now like has he played the most comic heroes ever? Three?
Oh God.
Because Evans has two, for example.
Are you counting Ralph Boner as a
No,
superhero?
but if he is,
Okay.
he's just the same guy. Because Cage has been Superman, he's been Spidey, and he's been Ghost Rider. And then
What's he been
even in
Superman in other than
Kick-Ass
the one
as well,
that,
if you want to count Kick-Ass.
right?
And he was Superman in Teen Titans, and he was Superman in The Flash.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you name your kid Kal-El.
Kal-El.
So
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you get a free pass.
yeah. And I mean, respectfully, I mean, it's Johnny Blaze. I mean, those Ghost Rider movies could be better. I think I'm being nice about that. Um, but like, and as much as he wanted to be Clark, like he was meant to play this character.
Well, maybe I guess maybe the question is, so no one's ever doubted Nicolas Cage's potential or his talents or his
He's an
acumen when it
Academy
comes to
Award winner
acting.
for a reason.
My question would be like, do you think he just cares the most about this role in the last little while, and that's why we think he's doing so well? It's just because like he's actually enjoying himself?
I think there's part of that. And I mean, like, when I was watching it, I was like, man, like he is channeling a lot of Humphrey Bogart in this, especially in the
Yeah.
first two episodes. And then I saw some interviews with him. He's like, I'm not going to do a Nick Cage impression. But he said he was channeling Humphrey Bogart with a mix of Bugs Bunny. And I'm like, yep, that checks out.
Well, it's also like with his talents, I am sure that he knows more about the actors in this time frame and the inspirations that
Oh, he's a
he's
freaking
channeling.
Coppola. Like, I'm sure he's like the extensive research, the whole family like knows their film history, right?
Well, I'm sure he would love to talk about kind of like the Cagney and Lacey stuff and just
Yeah.
him watching old Dick Tracy serials or whatever as
I
a kid
loved
in a
him
movie
watching.
theater.
I'm glad you mentioned it because in episode 4, when he watches the movie and just
Yeah,
him, that was one of my favorite Nick Cage scenes, not just in this ever. Just like the joy
right.
he had from like repeating that scene line for line was great.
Yeah, his way of coping like kind of with his situation is just to go
Yeah.
to the talkies, right? The movies and have a good time. But he I think of all people, like for when we talked about like, oh, he really fits this role. Like of all people, I think he just has probably the most. It's I could just it feels like it's in his personality to be like, oh yeah, like I grew up on these
Yeah.
gumshoe, flatfoot detective pulp noir things of the 30s, in my family's living room or whatever, and like that's my favorite genre of all time. If that's the case, I totally believe it. Like he's giving such a I'm not going to call it an authentic performance. I don't think there's really any such thing when you're kind of copying time frames. But in terms of the level of detail and the care that he is putting into this character, I think is really self-evident. Um, and it's just like, and I think because of that, like I'm enjoying it a lot more, kind of thinking about how much fun he's having doing this role than if I mean, then if he was, I guess if he was just doing it for the money, I suppose. I mean, all actors do it for the money, of course,
Yeah.
but you can tell he's doing this for other reasons, and he's like so committed to the bit.
Yeah.
Um, Now, is he doing all of his own stunts? No, he's damn near what? Isn't he near 70 years old?
64. So yeah, about that.
Yeah, but I do kind of like this Spider-Man, like or Spider-Noir. I guess his name is
1964 is when
Spider-Man,
he's
the
born, is what I'm
Spider.
saying.
Um, I like how he's kind of like a little bit creakier, like his knees are like a little more shot. Like it's interesting that he has like he's really durable, but he's still an old guy who's just durable. Because
Yeah.
I think a lot of the superheroes that we get super with healing factors, like they just you can't do anything to them basically ever. And this is obviously not the case for this version of Spider-Man.
No. And there's some really good comedy. I mean, he's always had good comedic timing, right? Like, look at a lot of stuff like Raising Arizona and so on and so forth. He's always been a good comedic actor. But like, even just like again to episode 4, because the fresh in my mind with the mayor, and he's like, "We're back." He's like, "We're not back. We're not here." Like, no.
Mm.
Like he
Hmm.
just did such a good job of like kind of being awkward. Like, no, we're not here. He does a really good job of that comedic timing, and I think he does almost this Clark Kent level impression of trying to hide the Ben Riley to the spider side of things at times, which you saw like when he was like, I'm not going to go after and chase, chase Flint Morco type of stuff, right? He tries to sell that kind of Clark Kent, I'm kind of a coward idea as well, really well.
Oh yeah, well the private detective, the private eye version of him is so interesting because maybe it's the duality of man, right? Like he comes across as a loser, and so everybody just thinks of Ben Riley as a loser compared to the Spider, who we all know and who everyone knows and loves as being a hero of the city, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Like he's just, part of it is doing it to throw people off, but it's like one of the questions I keep asking myself because the show's been very upfront with like who kind of knows his alter ego.
Yeah.
Um, I'd be interested to know. Like I'm always asking myself, like if Silvermane knows
Who the spider is?
that Ben, yeah, who the spider is,
Hmm.
and I'm having a hard time coming up with an answer. I don't, maybe it'll get answered in like future episodes, but I'm having a lot of fun with just kind of like this has such great Saturday afternoon TV vibes, like between that and like the George Foreman grill commercials when there wasn't really like live TV on a
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon. You're watching old reruns. Like this is exactly this fits this era perfectly. I'm just having so much fun with it.
It's so interesting. And I wonder, with Spider-Verse coming out next year, if Lord and Miller kind of had an idea how much more popular he's going to be with the show. And obviously, we know Miguel, we know obviously, Peter B. Parker and Miles and Gwen. I wonder if he'll have a little bit of a bigger role now because of how much we know him, or just enough. And then I was also like, man, if I was in charge of doing this before the movie now, I'm like, I think they did some shorts for Spider Ham, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I would try to do maybe like an anime like 20-minute short for Penny Parker
Right.
to kind of like, flesh out that character a little bit more because of the core Spider-Verse character. She's now like the only one that I mean, I don't think Gwen has, but I mean, Gwen has such a deep story in
She's
the
a fan
movies
favorite
already.
anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Penny's
She's
the
a
only
main
one
character.
that doesn't really have anything yet. I mean, we're getting a Spider-Punk single movie now too as well.
Hmm.
The thing that drives me crazy is some people was like, well, why isn't he Peter Parker? And like Robbie Robertson wouldn't be in the 1930s, and neither would Lonnie Lincoln. I'm like, oh my God. You've never read a What If comic? Like that's not the point, guys.
Well, what you're doing is you're opening up the can of worms to our basically our favorite pastime, which is arguing with like comic purists.
Like this is all what the Spider-Verse is about, right? Like nothing like there's a fucking medieval Spider-Man. There's and I mean even more, there's a fucking pig that's Spider-Man. Like I don't think you guys need to worry about continuity right now.
I think you're taking a really important step. I mean, the old Josh probably would have really cared about some of these things being
But I
comic
know too, it's
accurate.
like the whole idea of Spider-Verse is like what if blank in this universe, this and this and this and
Oh,
this
of
universe.
course.
So that's what the noir is. Like what if Spider-Man was in the 1930s? What would it be like? That's all this is, right? So and I
Yes.
and I think it helps to a degree for me, just because I've been watching so much 1930s, 1940s cinema at the start of the year.
Right.
So I have such a an idea too more on how some of those are shot. So and also like if you're not watching this in black and white, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my. So I was talking to our mutual friend Chris about this.
Yeah.
I'm a hundred. I'm starting with black and white, and if I ever get to a rewatch, which might be unlikely, but I'll just say if or if I'm bored one day, I will then watch in color. But for now, I'm only doing black and white. And because I'm really interested, it's the same kind of thing as uh like Wizard of Oz did this, for example, kind of, and there's been a few other videos of like when the TV stations changed from black and white to color, like live in real time.
Yeah.
There's a really famous picture of like the Addams Family house and what
Mm,
it actually looked like in color because they needed certain sh hues and shades to come across as more black or gray or white when they did that conversion.
mhm.
So I really want to know, I really want to see what the settings and the colors and the costumes look like for it to be converted over into black and white. just like kind of like the Addams Family example that I
I will
mentioned.
say, like, I did a split in episode one just to see what the color was looking like.
Okay.
And they do hit Technicolor. Like, it is not like,
Oh yeah.
2025, 26 color. It is Technicolor, like where it's extra bright and
Right.
sharp at times. So
Yeah.
they did hit on that side.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want. Like, I want to see it, but after I have enjoyed the show for what it is, I want to go in like I'm going to a movie theater. Like, I don't, I've very rarely, if at all, been on my phone during this show. And I'm not trying to say like the show is absolutely perfect, but I think I'm trying to treat this as if I was a kid watching one of these old Dick Tracy shorts that I know I came across as a kid. I'm sure you did too. Um, and so I want to give it the most authentic experience that I'm capable of, and just letting it. I honestly I just want to let it cook. Just want to let
Yeah.
it cook. There's nothing more to it than that, and I'm having such a fun time with it. Uh, there was the fourth episode dragged a little because three was like the high point, right? Three was kind of like the halfway point
Yeah. That's the megawatt
in terms of
episode
the
is
plot.
for.
Yeah, in terms of the plot, like that to me dragged a little bit, but in the overall scheme of things, like I'm so grateful for a show that like it's because it's so committed to the bit, right? It's not one of those things where it's like I feel like a lot of these shows nowadays are like they talk a lot about how they want to portray themselves as a certain way, but then they don't actually end up doing it the whole time. Um, and this show, you can like this show took no compromises in terms of what it was like in terms of its production value, and I really appreciate that.
A few of the things here. I think Brandon Gleeson killing it as
Oh,
Silvermane. Like
I
he's
love it. Like he's like his like accent's almost like extra thick.
yeah.
There was a scene where he went to Ben's office and he had a glass of, and then Ben gave him a glass of whiskey.
Mhm.
And the sound of him being like revolted by the quality of whiskey was so funny. I actually had to rewind it two or three times because I wasn't sure if I was like mishearing something or if like a chair had moved in the background. But basically, he takes like Ben's whiskey. He's like, "Bleh." It's like such a dry heave. Such a funny little moment for me.
Yeah, he's fantastic in it. Everyone's really good, but I wanted to hit on Brandon Gleeson because he's been great. Obviously, Lamorne Morris, he's great as Robbie in it. Kat Hardy's great. I like the secretary, Karen Rodriguez. She's great.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny, and I love how like she obviously fills that role of like, the secretary never supposed to leave, but is always kind of smarter than the actual detective, and she kind of leads him along the way. Like I appreciate their relationship as well, and I appreciate that she kind of like speaks her mind and like it's funny that we have a show set in the 1930s, but yet we don't have a lot of the same 1930s stereotypes of people.
Yeah.
Um, she's very competent in what she does. She goes to the police station. She kind of flirts with the one detective kind of thing to give her some information. She bribes him with the sandwich and like just those little kinds of like and same thing with his friend Robbie. Like I appreciate how they're just good at their job. I know we've touched on the segregation a little bit. Obviously, it's a very important part of their history at that time, and that'll never change. Uh, just really, really fun that he's so like this is kind of funny because I'm sure the people if this was to be review bombed, I'm sure it is being review bombed for like being woke or something because
No,
a
no. The
black
only
guy.
complaints
No,
I've seen, the only complaints I've seen is like it doesn't make any sense because why is Spider-Man not Peter Parker right now, and why is the Sandman in the 1930s? I don't get it. This is because like Marvel is like no. That's the only complaint I've seen is people that can't get their head over the what if of it all. That's the part they
right.
don't get of like if you're gonna have Peter Parker, like make him do Peter Parker things. It's like that's not the point of the show, guys.
Just well, it's exactly like that quote from what is it, Armageddon or whatever. Like it's not that kind of movie. Like
Yeah.
just don't overthink it. Just enjoy it. Like enjoy the fact that a bunch of these actors in this show is written to kind of pay an homage to the silver age of film, and If that makes you kind of want to your point, like if that makes you want to watch like other kinds of movies and have an appreciation for other kinds of media, like good for you.
Like I said, like it's very basic. It's what if Spider-Man was in the 1930s? Done. I mean, and there's so much about that era too. Like I even like the Prohibition side that they could hit on, and right. I mean,
Yeah.
even with Gleason there, there's obviously so much like we don't even know if he's connected to the IRS, right? Like we don't even know that.
The IRS.
Well, well, because that's what they used to call Ireland that we smuggle in the booze, right?
Oh, the IRA?
IRA, thank you. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
even know if he's connected to them or not, and if he helps, because obviously, the mayor's are like he's going to end prohibition, and he's obviously threatening him with,
Mm.
with that side of things. So that side's always interesting to me as far as all that kind of goes. So there's so much stuff there and nuances that you can kind of hit on with all of that. Like, and some of the
Yeah.
shots too were just really, they block really well. Not to be film nerdy, but some of the blocking in here is so 1930s blocking. If you watch Citizen Kane, if you watch Casablanca or other stuff from the 30s, there's a certain way that they block that you don't see as much in 2026 at times. And now there is some 2026 blocking at times, but the way
Yeah.
that they stand for and shoot for some of the shots is so 1930s. They don't try to overextend how they shoot.
Well, it's a lot of well, because back then they didn't have a lot of technologies as we do now. So
Yeah.
a big focus on all of these media properties was just in human interaction. And so shows were just two people talking a lot of times because it wasn't crazy huge action sequences or anything like that. And the same thing kind of here too. Like they're not afraid to go close up of Cage just going. It's not afraid to have both characters interacting in the same room together. Um, Kind of like a lot of like waist up stuff, hey?
Yeah.
And like you can tell that they were in the same room at the same time filming. You can tell that one was talking to another. Um, Rather than what I think we get a lot with the contemporary shooting schedules is we get a lot of like one person looking at the camera just talking to nobody and then they flip to the other
Euphoria.
person reacting. You said it, not me. Um, so in that case, like I just appreciate like it feels I know there's lots of different little bits of CGI and CGI backgrounds and things like that. I don't really care. But you can tell like anything to do with the acting is really authentic and really organic.
Yeah. So, for me, through four so far, I give this like a 9.5 so far. No, maybe nine. I'll give it a nine. I really have enjoyed everything with it so far.
Yeah, I give it a 9 so far too. There's really like and the point five or the half that maybe it's missing is I just want to see how it ends or what
Yeah.
kind of setup we're doing if this is going to be a one shot. I love how self-contained it is. I love how you don't need to know anything. Like it's
No,
just, hey, you want to go watch Spider-Man in the 30s? Yeah. Do I need to know anything?
you don't
No.
even need to know any
Okay. Just
Spider-Verse stuff.
not a single, you don't need to know anything about anything. Oh, hey,
No.
do you want to go watch like a gumshoe private detective movie? Yeah, I do. Okay, watch this. That's it. That's all it is. No, nothing crazier.
All right. You're positive.
Yeah, for the first time in a while.
I don't want to talk about this next one too long. Let's try to set this for 10 minutes. Mandalorian and
Are we
Grogu.
doing it? Oh,
Let's
we're
do it.
doing it. Okay.
Okay, I will state, I don't think this is a bad movie. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a fun family movie. Um, it's not a good Star Wars movie.
Okay.
I, I still struggle with what the fuck I think about this movie. Like
We're
again,
mostly okay. We're
I
mostly
went with my
agreed.
nieces. They laughed. They loved it. They had a fun time. So
Yep.
that's all that matters, really, right? But then it's also I can't take the Star Wars nerd hat off my head of like I just saw
Mm.
Maul and Andor, so now a certain level has been restored. So I don't really want this right now. Like this is not what I want. Like you gave me something really really good the last year now with Andor and Maul, and now I'm reverting to this. And when my niece pointed out to me, and my dad did, when the scene, minor spoilers, I guess, scene when when Mando kind of runs away and then he's trying to heal and then he puts Grogu puts him in that shelter and he keeps on bonking
Yeah.
his head. Again, I let out the biggest sigh ever. My
Mm.
dad's like, I've never heard anyone sigh that loud in my life. And the
Yeah,
girls
that was one of
laughed
those.
so hard at it. I'm like, cool, that's for them. But I was just like, okay,
Yep.
cool, 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 cool.
Yep. I agree that there was. So this thing is competently made. The action scenes
Sure.
are well made. The CGI looks awesome. The sets look awesome. The puppets look awesome. The aliens look awesome. The story is just so completely sanitized of any kind
Yeah.
of risk. And
It's literally like last season, more or less. It's Monster of the Week, go do this mission, and then whatever. Like you had so much other stuff you could have set, like with Project Necromancer and other stuff you could have led to, or leaving to Ahsoka and to Thrawn. Like there's so much shit that
yeah,
you had on the silver plate to lean into, and a lot of it was like, hey, Grogu's cute though. Hey, he's pretty cute. And I'm like, yeah, I
still
fuck.
got it.
Like, you know that Jonah Hill meme is like, I guess, bro. Like when he's like holding his nose and whatever from Wolf of Wall Street. Even for me, I'm just like, as someone that likes Grogu, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. Grogu's fucking cute. Can we do something else here? Like, I get it. He's cute. He does cute things.
Well, it's exactly the point I made with Andor, made with Maul. This was very, very clearly, and I'm not ju I judge it differently because of this. This is a show or a film made for kids.
100%. That's why I try not to be
This
too
was
harsh on it.
yeah. Well, we can be both of those
We
things. Like I can
can.
be critically harsh. I still might want to watch this on a Saturday, like a rainy Sunday afternoon
Oh, it's not the worst Star Wars
or
movie. That's the
snowy,
funny thing.
like
Everyone, sorry to interrupt. Everyone's like, this is ended Star Wars cinema. Like, this is not the worst Star Wars movie. I'm sorry. This is not the worst Star Wars movie.
it is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Now, that being said, does it really fit with the gravity of the universe that we have like come to
No.
expect? No, it's a little tame, and I think there's some tone like tonally it makes basically no sense compared to what Mando and Boba Fett were trying to accomplish. Boba Fett less so.
Yeah.
Mando clearly trying to make through roads to the sequel trilogy, setting up necromancers, setting up clones of Palpatine, setting up clones of Force users, the anything with Katie Sackhoff's character. Like
Bo-Katan.
yeah, I know her name. So I'm trying to think of my next point where it's so clearly what like the show so clearly wanted to just expand the universe and bring in all these different characters, and then we kind of got this, and we went backwards. Like if they so if on Star Wars Day, Disney was like, "Hey, we got a surprise for you. 3 episode or 4 episode mini Mando season coming out." And they dropped this shit on Disney Plus, I'd be like, "Oh, that was a lot of fun.
I
That was
that's the
perfect.
thing. That's what I
I
was
have
thinking
no
too.
issues with that."
Yeah.
If they were like, "Oh, this is a continuation of season 4 of Mando," like, not good enough, not cutting it.
Like who was it? Someone said in the review of like kind of said like I think Adam said it. He's like it was a fun Grogu episode, a fun Mando episode, and then a Monster of the Week episode. Like, yeah, that's
Yep,
pretty much what it is. And like, I mean,
pretty
I'm not like
much.
everyone's like, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni should not be in charge. Like, it's not their fucking choice. Disney came to them, said, we want a Mandalorian movie and we don't want the next season. So they're like, well, fuck, I will take what we had and try to put it together.
Well, I mean, it kind of it
So I don't want to put like it is their fault, but I'm not trying to put all the blame onto them because they were preparing for a season. They were not preparing for a movie, and they were given a shorter timeline to make a movie.
sure. Okay, so um, I'm not blaming. I don't want. It's so weird because like Filoni was the savior,
Hmm.
and but now with like unlimited power,
Limited
insert
power.
Palpatine. Unlimited power. Um, he's a little self-indulgent which is getting kind of tiresome. I like I think Filoni fits best with lots of rules against him, like when he has to write Tales of the Empire, when he has to write Clone Wars or Bad Batch,
Yeah.
he has to fit in certain story parameters. I like
Yeah.
that. The Filoni that like gets to go talk like I shit you not, no one except for about 10 people in the history of the world, in the history of Star Wars fandom going on 50 years, gave two shits about the Wills or the Wisps or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like or space whales or shit like that. And then suddenly, like it's almost like Filoni's biggest and worst critique of mine of his now is that he's too much of a niche Star Wars fan and not
Mhm.
a global Star Wars fan. His knowledge base and his language are so incredibly broad and in-depth, and he knows everything about everything. And the problem is, I wish he would not reference the 10 or 15% of shit that got left on the cutting room floor 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Make it accessible. Bring in some of these higher concept or some of these moral stories that we could talk about the duality of Jedi and stuff like that. And don't just like, I don't know why he's so hell bent on making everyone the strongest Force user ever. Like, I like the fact that there are levels to people's Force connections that they develop over time rather than just like, oh, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna like stretch my hand out and I'm gonna squeeze my face really, really tight, and then all my problems will be solved. I'm not even gonna get into like the whole Force healing thing. Like, I don't
Oh
really
God, I
care
got
that
so
much.
mad. I'm like, not this shit again.
There's no winning. No one, you cannot win if you're going to bring force feeling into this and then have the sequel trilogy act out the way it did, or have Anakin, a knight on the Jedi Council, not a master, just a knight, afraid that his loved ones are going to die, and not knowing a single Jedi who can force heal during the Clone Wars. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
But I'm also not like I don't care. I don't care about the sequel trilogy. I don't care how it relates to like Kylo Ren and Rey force healing each other until they don't die or some bullshit like that. I don't care that much. Um, I am a little confused. So Mando got like a power up in this show, right? Like he
A little
started
bit.
kick like he got his ass kicked like every goddamn episode by everything unless he had the dark saber. And now he's taken on like whole armies of battle droids and doesn't like nothing happens to him. So did he suddenly get really, really good at fighting, or am I just crazy?
He's learning the Force from Grogu. That's why.
And you know what? Like even like so like some of the Grogu things, they were fine. Okay, whatever. I
The
don't care that
Rambo
much. I'm not
thing
gonna
was my favorite part, maybe.
when he puts on like the little back like he puts on his chest protector and
He's
stuff.
just like boom. I'm like, okay, that got me.
Sure, like and when I went to this theater, like and I was expecting just to watch like shit for kids, like okay, that's fine. That's exactly what I expect to see in a kids film. Um, and so like I'm not letting it bother me. I just have like it's one of those things like the more it's exactly what we said about Spider-Noir, like it's not that kind of movie. The more you think about it, the more you're just going to be unimpressed. So just don't worry about it too much. I don't worry about it too much. It's okay. It's fine, except for the one thing that I think if I were to like have a critical review of this product, Jeremy Allen White was fucking awful.
So it's kind of ironic because he is stinky and he literally had a stinky performance.
I guess
How about
so.
that for
Like
you? Deep cut.
deep. I his voice acting was so incredibly flat. I
The
was like,
family doesn't
what
like
are we
me,
even?
and that's why I fight, because I need them to respect me, right?
I'm my own man. You're a giant space slug. You're not a man. I'm my own man. I don't want to be like my dad. Oh my God. Give it up, bro.
It's bad.
That, well, the plot point just is kind of shitty. And it's again like, okay, so we had the Clone Wars movie. We rescued Rhoda the Hutt from the Separatists, from Dooku. You know what? Leave him be. leave them on the cutting room floor 15 years ago. Not every Clone Wars needs to have like wrapped up three different ways. We didn't have to go back and find like a nice hut either. And like it's not even so much like the fact that Jeremy Allen White is a hut. It's just the fact that his voice acting is like so blah.
Like the thing that was interesting to me, because like when the reviews came out too, and people like, this is one of the worst things ever happened at the cinema. Star Wars is dead. I can't believe they dropped this slop. And then I saw it, I'm eh. Like it's like a
It's fine.
six. I think I gave it a
Yeah.
letterbox. I gave it a 2.5. I was gonna give it a
Okay.
2. And then like the last fight, I'm like, it was kind of fun. Plus the kids liked it. I'll give it a 2.5. But I wanted to give it a 2. And then a few people
Right.
are like, you're way too nice about this film. I'm like, well, did you go with kids? No. Like, well, then that's why. Like, I went
Oh
with kids.
gosh. I am not comparing it. So this we had an interesting conversation via text message a couple days ago, and I'd like to have this conversation really quickly now. Um, just because I like Star Wars doesn't mean I can't call it like it is,
Yeah.
which is basically just it's just knights in armor in space, which is fine.
Yeah.
Um, but also like I'm not protective of enough of Star Wars to be like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings if you say something's bad about Star Wars.
Yeah. Because
Because
there's been
if
lots
we're
of
if
bad.
most of it's fucking
Most of it's
bad.
bad. Like when they were doing on the Ringer when they did the draft, I think at one point they're like, a lot of the shit is bad, but the good is good.
Well, okay, so there are nine Skywalker movies. There's Andor, Rogue One, and Solo and Mando. So that's 13 movies,
And then
right? We
technically, if you
agree?
count the Clone Wars one because it was in the theater, so technically 14.
Okay, sure, whatever. Okay, there's
Yeah.
14 Star Wars theatrical movies. How many of them, Josh, would you say are good films? Films.
I would say 3 for
Four,
sure.
maybe?
3 or 4.
Okay, what are your three?
Empire, New Hope, Sith are for sure 3.
Good
And
films.
and Rogue One.
Okay, so yeah, that's exactly it. So I would agree with you there. If you want to swap New Hope for Jedi or whatever, I don't really care. But there are three movies that we can basically guarantee on that are amazing: Rogue One, Empire, Revenge of the Sith. And then if you have a fourth one, that's your
Oh,
Rushmore.
gee.
Gr- Yeah, I think it's personally, I think it's OG. Like if we asked your dad, he would say it's Jedi. I don't care. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
But the Mount Rushmore of Star Wars, those films are good. On
Yes.
Metacritic, I would expect those movies to be like an 8, 8.5, audience score
Whenever
probably
you get to May
higher.
the 4th, those are typically in one way or the other, the 4. And then there's always some smart ass like Last Jedi is actually really good and you don't understand it.
Oh my God. No, everything else, every other Star Wars movie as a film, because we're talking about films here, we're trying to be critical here, kind of suck. Every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Half of the Clone Wars sucks. The
yes.
new Clone Wars was good. Half of Bad Batch kind of sucked, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about Rebels, but I think it's like generally
Rebels is
positive.
awesome. Rebels might be better than Clone Wars.
Resist
And the only reason I would say Rebels would be better than Clone Wars is because there's less filler in Rebels like there is in Clone Wars.
okay.
Yeah.
Resistance was bad.
Yes.
Um, so Tales of the Outlaws, kind of bad. Tales of the Jedi, really, really good. Tales of the Sith, mediocre. That's basically everything.
Yeah.
And guess what? Andor is obviously very, very, very good. Maul's obviously very, 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 very good. Acolyte really sucks. Skeleton Crew is it's like a six
I
out of
have to
10.
kind of put my
So
asterisks that I think there's points of Acolyte that are really good. And I think
shut up.
I think there's points of Acolyte that are great. I really do.
What part?
I think a lot of the Manny stuff is good.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Not the
I'm trying to give like
sisters,
the
the
quick
Manny
hitter. I don't
stuff.
want
The
to.
Manny stuff.
Oh no, the Stranger and that lightsaber fight are fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And that lasted for about 5 minutes out of 8 episodes.
If I
Obi-Wan
could
also
go
kind of
Topher
sucked.
Grace on that shit, I could make a good 90-minute Acolyte movie.
And maybe that's exactly what Star Wars kind of like, does it need so many TV shows? Does it need so many movies? Or does it
No.
just need, like, I don't really know what,
Well, and
like,
here's the
everyone,
problem too with Starfighter, by the way. So everyone's like, well, Starfighter will be good. And it's like, yeah, until you know what the plot is, where
what
it's
is the plot?
more or less a guy in a starship with a plucky young guy next to him, like young kid, which is like this is what Star Wars has been with Disney for like the last plus decade now of like there's too much pluckiness. Like no more pluck. Like let me
Mhm.
just that's why Andor works. That's why Maul works. I mean, I know Maul, we do have a plucky Jedi in it as well. Sound like Van Lathan, because he hates
Who,
plucky.
Devin?
Devan's kind of young, but she's not like, oh geez, let me do this and this. At least she has like character development to her at least.
Devin's about to turn to the dark side. How's that
Yeah,
plucky? Like,
exactly.
nothing about that's plucky.
So
That's
but like
just
yeah, I saw the
badass.
Starfighter thing. It was like a veteran fighter pilot takes on a I'm like, young. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, young assistant,
Like, let me see what
orphan
this.
from home.
Yeah, like
Oh
that's what I'm
God, okay.
like what's the thing here? It doesn't have it fully, but yeah, it's like just literally Ryan Gosling with like a young apprentice. I was like, cool.
It's not that like this is. I'm not gonna go online and start bashing this movie. I just don't really consider it a movie. I just consider it a really extra long couple versions of the TV show. And even if they marketed it, even if they were like, oh, for 2 weeks only, the new season of Mando is gonna be in the theaters, I'd be like, yeah, okay, like I'm gonna go watch it. And then if I had watched that movie with the anticipation of knowing it's just kind of extra episodes of the TV show, and I walk out of the theater, I'm probably pretty happy that I spent my money on that.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be happy going to the theater as a TV exclusive, one time only kind of thing. Fine. I'm okay with that. To go in and being like, this is the brand new Star Wars movie, I have a harder time with.
All right, next one, and then we'll move on to some quick hitters and get out of here. State of play. I don't even care what my thoughts
Boring.
are. Yeah, it's it. So you're not going to play any of these.
Let me
Faye?
say a couple things. No, like I'm retired from the third person action games. I don't find them
So
interesting
you'll just
anymore.
YouTube story the Faye?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, like Wolverine looks to be like an incredible
Oh
piece
my
of
God, I got
technology.
freaking hyped
It
on that
looks
shit.
so cool. But like, how does it differentiate itself from God of War, from
It
Spider-Man,
doesn't. It
from
doesn't.
Metal Gear Solid,
You
from
know what's
Ninja
funny, Dev?
Gaiden?
There was a point. So when they showed the God of War trailer, it really hit me when Faye gets up and she's walking and she jumps over a ledge. She jumps over
Yep.
another ledge. She picks up a weapon.
Yep.
She fights some bad guys. Then she fights some more
Mhm.
bad guys and she climbs up with them. I'm like, oh God, like we've been, and look, I'm a sucker for it. I'm still into it, but I did. I'm like, this is what Devin's been talking about. And I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, you hop off of a ledge into a big pit, you fight 4 or 5 guys, then you fight a mini boss, then you pick up some shit off the ground, and then you go to a store, and then you buy some upgrades, and then you do it like 19 more times. I am not criticizing the story. I'm not criticizing the technical prowess of this particular product. I just don't need to do it that often anymore. Like, does it look good? Of course it looks good. I just feel like me as a player, I would be bored by playing because I've I've platinum God of War. I platinum both God of Wars.
Yeah.
I've platinum Spider-Man. Like, and I didn't, and like about 2/3 the way through it, I'm like, I'm doing the same things over and over again. I played 4 goddamn Batman Arkham games. I played 6 Assassin's Creed games. Like the third person action genre. I played 5 Uncharted because there was that dumb spin-off.
Mhm.
I've played it. I get it. Um, Now for me, it's just time to move on. But I'm still interested. I still want to know about the story. I still want to watch the cutscenes. I still want to see the executions. I still want to see Logan do cool stuff. I just don't care about doing it. I don't care. I don't want to do it for 40 hours anymore. I want to do it for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and
Well,
watch a
especially
movie.
too with the game demands, like it's a $90 game. Like that's
Hmm.
also like, this Bond game, I really want to play it, but like I'm kind of like this is like back in the day, I would have bought this Bond game, I would have been playing it right now. Maybe you would have
Right.
as well. But I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah.
just I can't justify $90 for this right now. Like maybe during, a Black Friday or Boxing Day or Christmas
Yep.
sale, like I'll look into Bond for that point. Wolverine, I will buy day one. I will admit I'm a sucker. They've drawn me
Yeah,
in.
it's fine.
I will play it
Yep.
week. I will play it. I will get it the week of, and then I'll fucking put that shit on Marketplace and try to get it for sell it for $70 and get some of my money back.
That's a really smart idea. Okay. Like I have no issues with people who like to try out different things and to experience games for the story. I love talking to people like that because you're also like willing to have your mind change. You're willing to experience cool things. Um, and getting some of your money back would be great because like that's exactly it. Like I just bought this game on Steam. It's been really blown up on message boards where I told Josh this earlier. You go into a library, all the books fell off the shelves. You have to reorganize the library. I beat it last
Amazing.
night. It took me 4 or 5 hours. It took me 4 or 5 hours the first run to beat it. There's 3,000 books you have to organize and sort and put on the shelves. I'm going to finish the rest of it tonight, all the little odds and ends I haven't completed yet. I'm going to put it away and I'm going to be like, damn, I got such good value for $7.
Yep.
The other game, Mina the Hollower from the people who made Shovel Knight, that game looks good.
Okay, I have to check that. Well, it's interesting too, because I got my sister gave me her Xbox login. That might be the
hmm
best use of money you can have in gaming.
It's one of, absolutely. Yep.
Just like considering like you have EA content on there. So if you want to play Madden or college football, it's on there to play, right? Like there's Indiana Jones obviously is on there. There's other stuff, but it's just like this is way, way more worth your money. And you can just put it and play it on your iPad, put it on your Fire Stick. The leg isn't even that bad, really. Like I took it from my iPad and then mirrored it to my
Okay.
Apple TV. The leg was
Nice.
not that bad. Like I played Indiana Jones for a little bit, and the leg was not that bad.
That's what I would like to see. I don't know enough about technology to see if I can maximize those kinds of services. Like I've talked about this a lot in the future. Like I would really love a TV that had a graphics card and a GPU that could run Steam or Xbox games just regularly with
Yeah, Luna's
zero
the other
input
one
delay.
because I seem to see Luna's in a lot of TVs now.
Right. Yeah, I if and the same thing like I've played around with like, screen sharing to my iPad off from my PlayStation. Apparently I can screen share from Steam to the TV, which is kind of cool. Maybe I'll try that tonight. Um, but the input delay has been really kind of hit or miss. And of course, like depending on the types of games you play, that really changes your experience. So I don't want to be too critical, but I like this idea. I'm ready for technology to move forward away from consoles and PCs and just say like I would love to buy a $2,000 TV that just had like a PlayStation 5, the guts inside of it.
Mhm.
So when I download these games, I don't have to worry about anything. I know it's really tough. Maybe it's coming in the future, but that's where I'm at now with my
We'll talk
stuff.
more about gaming stuff next week. Summer Games Fest is on Friday. Is there anything I will admit, like I am shocked we didn't see anything Interstellar. Because it's been almost full years now without anything, any information, anything on it. It is weird because like I felt like when Last of Us came out and Uncharted, you would get like little things here and there, and maybe they're just
Right.
not ready at Naughty Dog to move forward with stuff. I don't know, but like I was shocked. I wasn't. People were mad they didn't get GTA stuff. I'm like, I think Rockstar wants to do their own thing. I don't know if they wanted to share it with Sony necessarily. So
Mm,
I'm
hmm
sure. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked during Summer Games Fest. That's when you're going to get all the GTA stuff and information and whatnot.
Oh, God. Well, like this is the shitty part is like didn't they hype up how like people were like they rented a theater for this sort of stuff and then like the stuff that we kind of saw was fine.
I mean, the biggest
Like I'm
news was Faye. That was, I say, the biggest news probably. There's probably there's a new Silent Hill game. Until Dawn, people were very shocked that Until Dawn sequel happened, but I don't think Until Dawn or this Tomb Raider redo really warrants a theater.
Well, there's a lot of great franchises that they're spending a lot of time with, which is great. The problem is that they're not state of play titles that drive console sales or excitement for the brand, especially after last week when they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not going to put our single player titles on PC anymore,"
Yeah.
which is okay, whatever. So then that means I was like, okay, so this state of play is going to really focus on single player titles that is going to convince not me, not you, like not PlayStation diehards, but the people who play one or two games a year to then switch on their PlayStation again or go buy one with the price increase and be like, oh my God, I cannot wait to play Interstellar. I cannot wait to play. Like at this point in time, Grand Theft Auto gets to do whatever the hell they want. They get to make all the rules. They get to drop a trailer whenever they want, whenever they're ready. I don't expect it basically ever anymore. Um, and so I thought it was really unlikely that they're going to drop it
And
in the
they're gonna
PlayStation
drop the price they
exclusive
want
state
too,
of
right?
play.
Like I do not think this game is going to be $90. I think this game is going to be 140 at minimum. I really do.
Well, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be play the single player story for 80, um, play online with friends well, it's the same thing as Red Dead Redemption Online or whatever. Only the difference is I think they're gonna charge 30 or $40 to go access
Yeah.
GTA Online.
They can
So
do whatever they want for the price.
is there gonna be a $140 price tag on the box at Walmart? No. But would you end up paying that rough amount to access all the content in it? Potentially. I could see
Yeah.
that happening.
So yeah, Wolverine was the thing that drew me. I haven't played any of the God of Wars. I did, and then I just didn't get to it. I gave Dev Ragnarok for my code for a Christmas or birthday present. I guess they're pretty close to sell the same thing. Um, so yeah, but I think I'll just kind of follow. I mean, Faye looks great. Like I'm really happy. Like from what I've understood, there's been kind of been hints to her character leading to us, and the idea of her not being in Valhalla, but being in kind of this underworld, and there's previous bosses that Kratos
Right.
has slayed that she could fight. I'm like, sounds like a really cool premise.
Absolutely. I really do trust I trust San Diego Studios with making uh like the story part of God of War, the last two God of Wars has been so incredibly strong. The relationship dynamics and when people have passed away or sacrificed themselves or whatever, like you really do root for these people. And especially for me coming from like I've actually skipped a lot of stories in games lately, actually, because I just don't really care that much. I just skipped through all the cutscenes.
Mhm.
God of War is one of those ones where I didn't, and I'm really happy that I didn't. That being said, like yes, like there's I have like I think this was kind of I think a game of Atreus's mom was kind of leaked like it's kind of was kind of well known for us. I think it was kind of leaked.
Mhm.
Um, but that being said, I'm not mad at it. I don't want to invest 30 or 40 hours into this game.
Yeah,
That's all.
don't blame
I think
you.
it looks great. I think it looks great. I think all the games look great. Um, I just don't have a big enough like, oh, I care that much to go spend because you're right, like these games are expensive. It's a huge ask of consumers to spend in the hundreds of dollars for brand new video games now.
Mhm.
Um, but then again, like I know the industry is changing. I know labor is not cheap, like stuff like that. So I'm not here to
Yeah, I had a
critique
few
those
buddies
kinds
like,
of
I'm
things.
gonna get Wolverine. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, no, I'm gonna get him. Like, no, you're not. Like, why? I'm like, because you're not gonna buy a PlayStation. Oh, they're not that much. I'm like, the price just went up. You're not buying one. Like, oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's frustrating. But I guess I mean the panic buy. Well, it's funny because in whatever country I think it was like EU or something like that. The panic buying for the price going up like actually helped increase their sales, which is like a funny little like reverse psychology on their part.
Nice. All right, a few quick hitters before we get out of here. One's a bigger discussion, so just the few quick things. Hacks finale, brilliant, really well done. Perfect one line at the end of it, ending what has been 5 years of just a really good show, really good comedy, and we'll see what everybody from there does next. But yeah, really, really, really well executed on that. Um, the Boroughs on Netflix, pretty much Stranger Things, but with senior citizens. And it was good to
Mm.
see Gina Davis again, and like
Oh,
Alfred
what?
Molina. Yeah, Gina Davis. Yeah, that's everyone's reaction. It's like, where's she been? Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little 8 episode kind of whatever it is. But and then 4 seasons. I just finished that as well. Again, super fun. The biggest pop for me was out of nowhere, we got a wild David Tennant at the end.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was like,
What's
oh
what's the
shit.
premise of this show? Do I even know about it?
4 seasons.
Yeah.
4 seasons is it's like Tina Fey, Will Forte, um, Clement Domingo, are some of
Right.
the bigger stars, and Steve Carell was in it, but he dies in season one. Um,
Oh my God.
I know. But more or less, it takes a group of friends and them vacationing on the 4 different seasons of the year. So there's 8 episodes, 2 episodes for each season of
Oh,
their vacation. Yeah.
okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The bigger one is I saw Obsession and I saw Backrooms, and
Okay.
it's just interesting where cinema might be going because we always talk about these things, right? Like, oh, video games are working. Let's pump up a bunch of video game movies. Superheroes are working. Let's pump up a bunch of that. Will now we see, because we already know indie horror has been working with weapons and now with these two as an example of what they're doing in the box office. I mean, what Obsession is doing is unprecedented. Like it's almost $200
Right.
million dollars off a $700,000 budget, um,
Yes.
which is insane. So and then the circumstance that both of them are from 20-year-old YouTube content creators directing it.
Oh yeah, like they're taking ideas off of like 4chan message boards and like there's it's really kind of shown that there's new ways of doing things all the time, I guess.
Yeah. So I find that, I mean, I will say I liked Obsession way more than I like Backrooms.
Okay.
Um, the indie performance, she might win the Oscar. I don't know. It's one of the best performers. I mean, horror typically doesn't. I mean, you look at Toni Collette in Hereditary, she didn't even get nominated. I think she kind of
Right.
started like this top performance, and I mean, Get Out had it as well. But we're starting to see more of these performances. We just saw it in Weapons, with Aunt Gladys getting nominated. So Indy might get nominated, but her performance is just it's star making, whatever that means nowadays. But like she took herself to a different stratosphere. Like I had seen her in the Superman and Lois show, and she could have gone from that to who knows whatever, but she took herself to a rocket. Same with Curry
New
Baker now
heights,
as a
hey?
director as well. Yeah.
So
So
like recommended?
Obsession, yeah. Backrooms.
What's like
Do you know the story of Backrooms?
No, I don't.
So it started off as like a 4chan post of like someone like sharing like a shady department store and be like, oh, this, and this. And then at the time, the guy that directed this was a 16-year-old kid. He kind of dove into the lore of everything that could happen in the back rooms of this and all this kind of stuff. And then now he has a feature film out of it. And it was one of those I watched and I'm like, times I was kind of bored by it, times I was intrigued by it. And like when I walked away, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need to rewatch that. I don't think it's as like grand as everybody says it is, but I do appreciate an
Mm.
original idea and what that could mean going forward. And it kind of this one means to me like I do wonder, are we at a state here where this box office this week is so important, right? Because Obsession is making more money than Mando right now, but we have two IP movies out this weekend, right? He-Man, Scary Movie. Scary Movie, there's a whole other thing on the reputation for it, what it does in the box office. Is the lesson, I know Adam doesn't think this, but I'm wondering if maybe we'll see it. But if He-Man underperforms and Scary Movie underperforms, and then, Obsession and Backrooms both have good weeks again, are the studios going to start looking at themselves and be like, well, not every movie's going to make 1 billion. We know an Avengers or, a Spider-Man will make it, but why are we spending money, 200 million plus on a He-Man movie when we can spend less money on creatives to get another Obsession. I wonder if that will start being the focus of like, we're not just going to throw random IP money behind it and hope that it makes $1 billion.
Well, no, because that's not how companies work, right? These media companies are publicly owned, and their duty is to make as much money for shareholders as possible, which also means chasing trends, right? And the whole reason why He-Man was greenlit was because of Barbie, right? Um, it's a downstream effect. We've had a couple of G.I. Joe movies that have had little to no success, mostly because G.I. Joe's been a really, really quiet franchise for kids. The figures are still going strong with a select group of adult collectors, but like those people don't like, of course, they're going to go to any G.I. Joe movie regardless. So I don't think it was ever going to drive the marketing. And the same thing with He-Man. Like, so Transformers is in a really transformative or transitional spot right now because that's a franchise that has kind of constantly been going for the last 40 years with varying states of success. But the last few years they've gone away from traditional TV. They went to the Michael Bay movies. But there wasn't a whole lot for kids at the time. And so when Transformers 1 comes along, which was obviously very, very mismarketed, it flops, even though anyone who watched Transformers 1 said it's probably the best Transformers movie ever made.
Yeah.
That's the duality of it. But because, like, especially if you're going to bring in, so these IPs need to have, like, you can't just bring an IP back from the dead 30 or 40 or 20 years after the last iteration of it and expect new people to want to go.
Well,
The
I think
He-Man,
that's the He-Man thing.
well, He-Man is going to maximize the money out of existing He-Man fans, which I'm going to tell you, there's a few, but not that many.
No.
The problem is you will not get any new He-Man fans from this movie. If you
No.
wanted new He-Man fans, you need to have a new TV show 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or trilogies or whatever. Like you need to do the groundwork so that
Well,
like
also, dude,
kids,
the time for it was in the early 20s, right? Right? Because that's when
of course it
Transformers, that's
was. Yeah,
why I hit,
absolutely.
because people that grew up with Transformers, like, I'm ready for Transformers. The people that grew up in He-Man now are in their 40s, late 30s at that point.
They're
And I'm
gonna
sure
go
there's also,
anyways.
and some of them are just like, I don't want, and movies are fucking expensive now too. So I'm sure some of those people that are there, I'm like, I'll catch on streaming. I'm going to save money and take my kid to Toy Story in 2 weeks.
Well, that's the thing is I think it's going to maximize its money from existing fans already. Yes, of course we all have to make tough decisions, and yeah, if you had to choose between taking your kid to Toy Story or watching He-Man, the choice is obvious. But
Yeah.
like, I bet not a single ticket has been sold to a 7-year-old who saw the trailer and was like, "Daddy,
No,
what's that?"
no, unless their dad
That's
takes
the
them.
problem. That's the well that, but then the dad's already a fan.
Yeah.
So we're going back to the category that I already talked about. So all of these like IPs, it's fine to have IP, but the IP needs to be currently within the cultural
That's why I think
zeitgeist.
Turtles still works because Turtles still makes new stuff, right? So Turtles, every generation kind of gets their own Ninja Turtles, so they're cool.
Everyone's got a favorite Turtles show
Yeah.
or Turtles movie, and if you like Michael Bay Turtles, that's one thing. But yes, there's always been a show to drive toy and movie sales so long as you make the movie accessible to bringing people who are watching the show. Absolutely. Transformers is the same way. But now what's happening, so we have like the toys group, so we got Transformers, G.I. Joe, Turtles, whatever. We got Minecraft movie, Lego movie, we got Barbie. The problem with Barbie was that it was a flash in the pan, written by two of the greatest creatives in Hollywood right now, starring arguably the most beautiful actress in Hollywood right now, providing a pro-feminist message that automatically uplifts half of the movie-going
And
audience.
arguably the biggest young movie star in Gosling.
And then exactly, and then they
Yeah.
made him friggin' hilarious. So it was a well-made movie that happened to deal with Barbie. The
Yeah.
problem is now is the executives of these films and TV studios, it's like taking Ozempic. Rather than building, we'll just say, rather than building a movie that's like He-Man with Henry Cavill, with whoever, Idris Elba. Like there's the A version of this movie with big time name actors that would probably do pretty well with a decent Hollywood budget. If we just because all these people are kind of like no names, right? Except for Jared Leto, but he's behind
No,
CGI the
everyone's,
whole
it's a
time.
pretty, I mean, I would say if
No,
you're
but
gonna,
there's the A plus version of this.
oh,
Barbie
sure.
was the Barbie movie was the A plus version of it. Will Ferrell, Issa Rae, Michael Cera, Ryan Gosling. Every single person in that movie was famous before they were in the Barbie movie.
I mean, you have pretty known people in this, respectfully. You know, you have Idris Elba, you have Jared Leto, you have Alison Brie, you have Kristen Wiig. So you have people in here that people know.
In He-Man?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of like I was
Cam
actually just thinking of He-Man in
Camila
general. Oh,
Camila Mendez, you know, has a pretty big following from Riverdale and other
okay.
things. So
I
they,
take my statement back then.
yeah, and then Marina Baccarin. So like there is decently known people in this, but I get what you're
I just
saying.
think no one wants to. I just think no one wants to go.
I someone today told me, I asked them, what do you think the He-Man box office is going to be? And they're like 60. I'm like, 60 what? Dollars? Or because there's no way this is making 60 million. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Opening weekend?
It's not making 60
No.
million. It's not. I said
40
25
maybe.
to 30
Yeah,
because
40 on a good day.
you're going
If it
against
was raining.
Obsession. You're going against Obsession,
Yeah.
which is I don't think it's going to grow. It's grown three different times now. And
Obsession has?
yeah, so I don't see it doing a
Yeah.
fourth week of outdoing what it did, but it'll do good. Backrooms will continue to do good because Backrooms just came out, so it's gaining, momentum and word of mouth. And then plus you're still going against the Mandos, the Michaels, the Mortal Kombats. They're still taking a piece of the pie. And then you're also dealing with another big movie coming out this week, a scary movie, which I don't think is going to beat He-Man at the box office, but there's going to be a big chunk that go to Scary Movie because that also has a certain following that might also just be like, I could see He-Man, but I'd rather just go to the theater and laugh because I don't get to do that anymore.
The cultural overlap of the age group of movie-going audience for He-Man and Scary Movie is actually probably very similar.
It's very similar, yeah.
It's like that
Eh,
40, you're exactly right. It's that 40 to 45-year-old guy. That's exactly who He-Man is made for. The problem is that no one else is going to go to this movie. The thing with Obsession or Backroom, Backwoods, whatever, is that my partner might come up to me and be like, I've heard a lot about this movie. Can we go? My
Yeah,
partner sees the trailer for He-Man and goes, "What is that? And why would
yeah,
anyone watch that?" And I'm like, "It's a cartoon from the 80s." And they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm never gonna go see it." I'm like, "Yeah, I know you won't because I won't go see it either." Like it's just like it's not the fact that like doing IP stuff is obvious or not obvious, but there's a way of doing it with an A plus triple A premiere tinge to it that's going to make it seem like it's being taken serious by moviegoers. That's why Barbie was did well. It's because they spared no expense for Barbie, the writers, the director, the music, the side characters. There is no B plus people in that movie whatsoever.
yeah.
He-Man is made by like a B plus, B plus studio with mostly B celebrities. Like Idris Elba is big, but he's not reeling people in like Ryan Gosling reels people in.
Yeah,
And of
and
course,
Kristen
the other
Wiig
thing
isn't
too
either.
is the other thing. Well, Kristen Wiig might, I mean, maybe a bit more than Idris Elba, but the other problem too is that the studios are still over exaggerating the Jared Leto effect.
Yeah. And his Skeletor, I fucking hate it. I've seen some clips. I fucking hate it. I hate it so much.
The
He
sound or the
doesn't even
look?
talk like this. He doesn't even like try to do the Skeletor voice.
Yeah, well.
He-Man.
That's a different day and age. But then like so we're gonna get like the Operation movie. We're gonna get the Hungry Hungry Hippos movie. The problem is
I don't
all
know
these
if
things
we
are gonna
will
fail.
anymore.
Well,
I
we
do
may not,
wonder if
but
these original guys and girls making movies and people are if that's gonna maybe read maybe it's hopeful thinking, but I wonder if there is any lesson from that of like, yeah, we could make $200 million He-Man movie, or we could take a chance and make this original movie and put a little bit more behind it. Like, I mean, I don't even know how Obsession got the word of mouth that it did to because it came and then good performances, good story, and then it just blew up. And maybe is because he had such a big curry baker, had a good following on TikTok and YouTube, so then people follow. Same with this Parsons kid that did Backrooms. It could be part of that as well. And you're seeing now on YouTube, I really think since COVID really started, a lot of creators that are making mini shows, some of the skits that they do, and it's shot just as good, if not better than some TV shows that you see.
Well, the other thing too with Succession, I'll give it a lot of, or not Succession, Obsession, I'll give it a lot of credit for, is the trailer is really great.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't give too much away. The premise is really easy to understand. So like I love because I don't watch a lot of extended trailers anymore, red band trailers or like final trailer number four. I just want to watch the one teaser. You also need to have a bit of an elevator pitch, and the elevator pitch has got to be like 30 seconds. Like it's the same thing. Like so we go to Toy
That
Story 5, for
that's
example.
so
Yes, it
funny you
has.
said that. Not to interrupt, but that's what Jeremy John said. That's why Obsession works. It's the girlfriend that's way too into you from hell. Done.
Yeah, you make a wish for a girlfriend, your wish gets answered, and there's a little bit of a twist to it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Toy Story. So what's the elevator pitch for Toy Story 5? Oh, the kid that all the toys live with, yeah, she gets an iPad.
Yeah.
Done. That's conflict. Your brain's already going to start piecing together pieces of the story, which then makes you excited to go watch and see if it actually comes true.
Yeah.
Some of these things like, oh, what's the He-Man movie about? Guy gets a sword and tries to kill Skeletor, I guess. It's the same old shit. Like
Yeah.
there's no wrinkle to it that makes you excited. Unlike Barbie, for example. What's the Barbie movie about? Barbie goes to the real world. Oh shit, like I don't know how it's gonna work. Oh my God, like what should you do with the Barbie dream house? Well, guess what? You go watch the movie, you're gonna find out.
And then like for people like, the one IP that I think we did see, like the kind of did work was Mortal Kombat worked because a game just came out. It's one of the most popular games. And then I think word of mouth traveled, oh, the movie's good. So that I think helped it twofold to end up making money for the studio.
So Mortal Kombat's in a different story than it's closer to Barbie than it is He-Man because the Mortal Kombat fans are still rabid. There's a huge following for Mortal Kombat. There's a huge appetite for it. But also like even the way that it was, even the budget, the way it was shot, the way it was promoted, they all knew what it was, and the expectations for the movie were all reasonable. Like, what happens when Hasbro partners up with Lionsgate to make like a friggin' um, Stretch Armstrong movie, and they're like, yeah, like, our budget's $200 million dollars, and we're really hoping to make 700. No, you're not. Your goal is not to make $700 million dollars on a Stretch Armstrong movie. It's to make like 250. Like that's what like John Wick, for example. Perfect example. They were modest successes that kept growing up and up and up and up, but the budgets all stayed relative. At no point at John Wick 3 were they like, oh, we're gonna make $1 billion in 3 days and become the third highest grossing movie of all time. No, they were like, if we make $200 million in like the 2 day or the long weekend or whatever, that's good. And guess what? Then the word of mouth came up, and it got more and more and more and more and more.
My last question before we end here is, so this week will be He-Man, and we'll talk about the box office next week because like I just don't see it doing very
Brutal.
good.
No.
I don't. Scary movie's an interesting one because it depends, how comedies will do in the theater. So I'm kind of interested in that. But my bigger question to you is, do you think Disclosure Day will do good, mediocre, or underwhelming in the box office?
Underwhelming.
Yeah, I think so too. Because again, I think
What
people are packing their budgets, and Toy Story's out the next week. So I do think there'll be parents that are doing that. And then I don't know. I don't know if people, as many, again, like the age range, how many people are like, well, it's a Steven Spielberg movie. It's like, but I don't know how much that matters right now.
do you care?
Not really.
That's
Like
a
I was
Spielberg movie?
happy to
I
see
don't.
Spielberg do. I was happy to see Spielberg on the rewatchables and hear him talk about film. Like that I was more excited about that. But like the movie itself, like it has stars. Like Emily Blunt's a star type of thing. And there's a bigger story. I don't think there is any marketable big star right now. That's a different story for a different day. But I don't really care. Like the only movie I care about going to the theater this month is Toy Story. And
Right.
that's also because I will like I do want to see Supergirl, but part of me is just like, do I need to see Supergirl in the theater or can I wait?
Well, you're gonna see Supergirl in the theater because you want to support the
It's one
franchise,
of my
so I
and
get
it's one
that.
of my favorite comics that I've ever read. So
So
like I'm excited for it, but I'm also just kind of like we're getting to that point too. I still think like it's 30. Like we went to Mando and it was a pretty penny. Like unless you go like at the cheap Tuesday or something like that, it's expensive these films now. Like it's like 30
I
bucks
still spent
sometimes.
16 bucks a ticket on
Yeah,
Tuesdays.
it's a
That was
lot.
crazy. Okay, so hmm?
It gets to be a
So
lot.
the Spielberg filmography, we're gonna go backwards, okay? I'm
So
just
are
gonna
you
just
gonna
stop
do
me.
what Nick and I did? Because he said I don't think Spielberg's had a good movie in a long time. And I
Yes,
ended
but
in
well,
2002 was the last one I thought was good.
which was Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say, which movie is the last movie where you were like, oh my God, I need to go to the theaters no matter what? Okay,
Probably
because
Catch Me If You Can.
I also want to give Spielberg some credit to being a 79-year-old
Well, the one,
man.
I mean, that I know that answer already,
His
then it's Ready Player One.
his ideas of storytelling has changed. Like, yes, he's a Steven Spielberg is the greatest like chameleon director. He's
Yeah.
got lots of different genres, but he doesn't really do one better than anything else, okay? So we're gonna go backwards. Disclosure Day, don't care. Fablemans, don't care. West Side Story, don't care. Ready Player One, we cared, but it sucked. The
My
Post,
face!
don't
Don't look at me! I'm hideous!
I The Post, don't care. BFG, don't care. Bridge of Spies, don't care.
Yeah,
Lincoln,
fuck you for
don't
taking
care.
Rocky's Grammy away from him. Oscar
Exactly.
away from him. I
Okay.
can't even talk right because I'm so mad.
War Horse, a lot of people cried.
A lot of people
So
like
if you if
Warhorse and
so
Lincoln.
War Horse and Tintin, but people weren't going to movies for
No,
a Daniel Day-Lewis Lincoln biopic in 2012.
no,
So and even Tintin was too niche for the English audience. So
right.
which leads me to 2008, Josh. You know what came out in 2008?
What's that?
Technically nothing because there's only four Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, yeah, nothing. Don't worry about it.
So in reality, like I'm looking at his like so even if we go forwards, right, in his filmography, like must see movies in the theaters, Jaws, Close Encounters, Raiders, E.T., Indiana Jones,
Jurassic Park.
Color Purple. I don't know what people are. Empire of the Sun people like Indiana Jones: Last Crusade, Hook, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Lost World. I still kind of fuck with it. I'm not gonna lie. Saving Private Ryan,
Mhm.
AI, Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, Terminal, War of the Worlds, which had buzz. It sucked, but it
Yeah,
had
I hate
buzz.
that
Okay,
movie. Yeah.
Munich, critically well received,
It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good.
and then Indiana Jones in 2008. So like there's such a huge difference between Indiana Jones in 2008 and then Bridge of Spies and the BFG.
Yeah.
So he basically hasn't had a movie that young people would want to go to in 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting hearing him on the rewatchables talk about like, because he talked about Kubrick, like he'd do stuff and then he'd just move on. He cut everything. There's like no real footage left of a Kubrick movie. Like you're not gonna find something floating around from Clockwork Orange or 2001 or Strangelove, right? He just
Right.
moves the fuck on. Where Spielberg's like, I save everything. And then he's like, then I come up with my next idea, which and then he's just so passionate to get the next project. When you look at someone even like Kubrick, like was The Shining his last movie till he did Eyes Wide Shut?
No, he did Barry Lyndon, but Barry Lyndon took forever.
After Shining? Thought it was
I
before
thought so.
Shining. I thought it went Strangelove, 2001, Barry, no, 2001, Clockwork, Barry, Shining, Break.
I does Full Metal Jacket in 87,
Oh, okay, that's kind of important.
which is pretty freaking good.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, he was the kind of guy who took long breaks between every movie anyways.
yeah.
So most of his breaks are between 4 and 5 years, and then there's a 5 year break between Barry Lyndon and Shining, but there's a 7 year break between Shining and Full Metal Jacket.
hmm So he
But
takes his time with stuff.
there's a big break between Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut.
Would you say he's your favorite director?
Historically, yes. Contemporary right now, it's Denny though.
Yeah, Denny's definitely up there.
Although, hey, like this kind of fits the theme. Um, I was in the mood for like something Sicario-esque, so I watched Wind River, which is another
Hmm.
Taylor Sheridan movie with Renner. There's a couple problems with it, but like scratch the itch. Pretty good. Taylor
Nice.
Sheridan movies always fun.
Nice. Movies, yes. Shows, no.
I don't watch the shows, but the movies, like other than the White Savior Complex, had a great Graham Greene performance, like R.I.P. one of the
Hmm.
OGs.
One of the
Just
best.
a nice little, a nice little adult movie.
Nice. Nice. And that'll do it for us. So we'll be back with Summer Games Fest, 4 to 8 for Noir, and then we'll see what else. Oh, and X-Men got announced. It's out at the start of July. I think I said that last week, but I'm just gonna mention saying again because excited for that. And
There you go.
there's also just way too many shows on TV right now. That's like
Yes.
there's way too many fucking shows. Like everyone's like, watch Whittles Bay, watch this, watch this. I'm like, oh my God, there's just too many fucking shows.
Yo, Cape Fear apparently is
Yeah,
amazing.
Cape Fear I'm gonna watch, but then everyone's talking about Widow's Bay too. Someone's like, I'll get to it. I'll try.
Oh, at least
I was
Margot
hoping I
did.
could rewatch Sopranos this summer, and I don't think that's gonna happen. I
Maybe
still
like
gotta see
July,
Project
August
Hail
you
Mary.
can.
Like I still gotta see Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, it's like a 2 hour, that's 1 2 hour thing out of your life though.
Yeah, because I think we're getting to the end of the quarter, the halfway point of the year. So I'm doing that thing where we start to think about like, hey, what's the best, what's the worst type of stuff. And
Hmm.
I will say, I think I have my favorite TV show, favorite movie this year. Nothing is just like boom, right in my head. Like that was the best thing I saw. Like I know what the best movie and the best TV show I saw this year, but it's not like, yeah, Shogun, that was unbelievable. That's the best. There's
Right. Yeah, it's been a
you
weird year
gotta,
for that.
yeah. Like right now, spoilers, I guess, for the year-end pod, if people remember. Like Nirvana, the band, the movie is the best movie I've seen this year. Obsession's probably a little bit behind it, but that's probably going to change in the next 6 months.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But that'll do it for us. We'll be back next week. And until then, folks, cheers and enjoy the day, people.
Thank you for listening to the Fresh Take Network. Follow us on social media platforms at Fresh Take 42.